So here at the Concours of Elegance at Hampton Court, obviously the first car to check out was the huge surprise debut of the incredible Aston Martin Victor one-off, which you can see behind me, prices in excess of £2 million allegedly. And we're going to take a little bit of a walk around on this car and talk to somebody from Aston to learn a little bit more about this incredible beast. And let me tell you, it does look as incredible and as magnificent in real life, in the carbon, so to speak, as it did in the pictures. I'm here checking out the Aston Martin Victor at the Concours of Elegance at Hampton Court. It is an extraordinary looking machine, and I'm here with somebody from Aston Martin who's going to tell us a little bit about this car and how it came about and why it took the world by surprise.
So nice to see you today, and nice to show everybody a little bit of Aston Martin Victor. It's been 2 years in the making. It is a one-off bespoke customer request. So he came to us a couple of years ago wanting the ultimate analogue road car, so manual, a naturally aspirated engine, and he also wanted a good hint of the 80s V8 Vantage that Aston Martin was so well known for. So a good element of that brute in a suit translated into modern.
Brute in a suit, I like it. So tell us what elements of that are translated into, walk with me, what elements are translated into this design? I can see the front end is very aggressive on this car.
It is, so we had to start somewhere, and for us what we wanted to do was start with a carbon chassis from the 177 and Vulcan family. So we took that back to Multimatic, the supplier. They then created basically a re-green chassis, so they fully refurbished. And for us, what he did design-wise was ultimately with our full design team, we actually went through a full process. So we went to a full-size clay model. We did it as it was a proper car program, not as most one-offs had developed.
So theoretically, you could build more of them.
So you could, absolutely, yeah, you could. But we've agreed.
Not going to.
No, we're not going to. We've agreed with the customer it's a one-off, and actually it's lovely because ultimately, if we do another one-off, it should be something different. It should always be developing, changing the bounds, and also working to a brief. This was his brief, and he's incredibly happy with how it's come out.
And the engine on this is co-developed. Let's walk this way. The engine is co-developed with Cosworth.
Yes, it was. So it started life as a 7.3 V12 from Cosworth. It was a 177 engine, but with Cosworth, what we wanted to do was rebuild it to a unique spec. So they worked particularly on a unique plenum and throttle bodies and top end side of things. And what they've done is taken it from 750 horsepower to 836 horsepower.
That is extraordinary for a naturally aspirated engine.
Absolutely,
and all incredible,
and all fed through a manual gearbox. So in delivering the brief of being an ultimate analog car for the road, absolutely exactly what he wanted. So in this carbon chassis, full carbon body, 6-speed manual gearbox transaxle, and then we have latest carbon ceramic matrix brakes from Brembo. We also worked with our friends at Multimatic on inboard suspension, so it's all push rod actuated down.
You can, which is extraordinary.
And then
nice to have it on display.
Absolutely, yeah, a real piece of jewellery.
Yeah.
And then on the outside, obviously taking some of the styling cues from the 80s Vantage. But what we also have is a proper CFD developed car, so actually incredible aero, so great aero balance and also more downforce than one of our GT4 race cars. And again, this is built as a road car and will be used as such by the customer.
That's incredible. And how much of the design input has actually come from the customer?
Really, he gave us the theme and trusted the professionals to carry it through. So actually that's really when these things work best in my head. And he was very, very gracious through the whole project at being able to have his input and tweaks, but ultimately letting our design team really deliver the brief.
So was it a collaborative thing, or was
very
it like
much.
we've come up with this? And
yeah, no, very much. So we presented early pitches to it, and we developed it from there. So many visits to the design studio, all behind closed doors, and I think that was part of the love of the process for him as well, was actually being part of that.
And was it a very deliberate thing to release this here today with no prior knowledge and no prior information to really take the world by surprise?
Well, I think sometimes sometimes things have to be a surprise, and nowadays things are never a surprise. They're normally teased for months on end. In this case, it's a one-off for a customer. He wanted to show it publicly as well for the first time and make a proper splash. He's not here, but he's incredibly happy that everybody loves the car. So You can see how many people are around and how busy it's been so far.
It's a spectacular showstopper. How much of this is carried over from others, if any, elements of this car from the existing range?
So, as I said, we started with a 177 chassis, but really apart from that, we've got some of our greatest hits from the 177 Vulcan program, a little bit of work on brakes and suspension, but then a huge amount bespoke to this car, because it's delivering something very different. So it really has to go back to square one and start from scratch.
Now the price is undisclosed, over 2 million you said, so what are we talking, 2.5, 3?
the customer's very happy and so are we. So.
We're leaving it at that, are we? And if other people want to do something like this, would they be able? Would it be back to the drawing board, or could they take elements of this car?
No, I think what we want to do is, if we create another one of these, it should always be down to the customer's brief. So something new and fresh for them, and it's always nice to then come up with the next one. So absolutely, yeah, it's something we'll look at and we're talking to various people about.
Congratulations, it's an extraordinary machine. You've really taken this show by storm. Well done, fantastic. Thanks so much for talking to us today.
Thank you very much.